Hi everyone, I'm Bethany from Indeed. Today I'm going to show you how to edit your resume to increase your chances of being contacted by an employer. I am currently editing in Google Docs. You can do that too, or you can also use Microsoft Word or another software of your choice. What we're looking at here is just an example resume that has some common mistakes I've encountered in the past. To start off, it's important to remember that the goal of a resume is to quickly communicate your professional story and key skills to possible employers. This resume already has all the sections that a great resume needs: name and contact info, summary, education, work experience, and skills. Starting at the top, I want to begin with the contact information. On this resume, they've included a full physical address. Today, because most communication during the hiring process takes place online, it's really not necessary to include this. All you need at the top is your name, email, and phone number. So I'm going to go ahead and remove his address from here, and also add a little bit of formatting to the header by bringing it onto one line and bolding his name, as well as centering everything. Next, this person has included a summary on their resume. This is optional, but it can be a really good way to sum up your professional background and aspirations. It can be helpful to think about a resume summary as an answer to the question, how would you describe your work experience in one sentence? And this person has done that really well here. The next section of a resume is typically the education section. You do have the option of moving this towards the bottom after your work experience. I recommend you keep it at the top if you are early on in your career or your degree is an absolute requirement for the job. Otherwise, move it to the bottom if you have more work experience. The general rule with the education section is that you should include the highest level of education only, as well as any licenses or certifications that are relevant to the jobs you're seeking. Because this person does have a bachelor's degree, I'm going to recommend they go ahead and remove their high school here, and then remove that space. It's optional to include your GPA if it's higher than a 3.5, so this person is fine to include it here, but it's only necessary for jobs where the employer has specifically asked for it, or if this is your first job out of college. The next section is your work experience. This is typically the longest section of your resume, and it's where you'll demonstrate that your past employment has qualified you for your next job. Here, beginning with your most recent job, you should list your most relevant work experience from the last 10 to 15 years. Include the name of the employer, your job title, years of employment, and a few bullet points with your strongest, most relevant accomplishments. In general, you'll want to have the most detail for your most recent job and can have a less detailed description of older jobs. Also, lead with strong action verbs and follow with an accomplishment rather than a task. Employers are interested in what you've achieved and not just tasks you've done. When possible, also use numbers to measure your success. There are at least 3 different ways to measure your work. Number 1 is people. Did you lead a group of people of a certain size or make it possible for a task to be done by fewer people? Number 2 is time. Did you speed up a process or get to a result quickly? If so, how quickly? And number 3 is money. Did your work lead to sales, revenue, or cost savings? For example, here this person has said, answers customer complaints and effectively de-escalates altercations over the phone. We can take the advice from above, both by including a strong action verb and quantifying their contribution with responds to customer complaints and effectively de-escalates altercations over the phone, resulting in customer satisfaction improvement of 17%. Of course, you need to be honest about the numbers you're including, so I'd want this person to check to see if they could measure the increase in customer satisfaction rating they achieved. Also, if you don't have much work experience or if you're hoping to transition careers, you may want to include volunteer positions in this section. These can follow the same format and the same best practices as your regular work experience. Next, it's important to add skills to your resume because it's a place to highlight keywords that employers are looking for. Depending on how relevant certain skills are to the job description, you can place skills below or above work experience. In general, there are 2 types of skills: hard skills and soft skills. Hard skills are abilities specific to the job and/or industry, like specific software, speaking a foreign language, or operating certain equipment. Soft skills, on the other hand, are abilities that can be applied in any job. Sometimes people call these people skills or social skills, and they include proficiency in things like communication or customer service. Read the job description to learn which skills the employer values most. and include those skills as they're relevant to your skills on your resume. On this resume, there is already a skills section, but it's short and doesn't contain details of how proficient this person is in a specific skill. For instance, sales doesn't really tell me anything, and PowerPoint is something we generally expect people have skills with PowerPoint and Microsoft Word, so I'm going to go ahead and remove both of these. And let's say this person speaks Spanish and they're applying for a bilingual customer service job. So we can put here fluent in Spanish. And because of their experience in customer service, I would imagine they have effective communication skills. So we can include that, as well as conflict resolution. Like everything else on your resume, only include the skills that are an honest reflection of the things you know how to do. Those are all the main pieces of a resume. The final step of resume writing is to carefully proofread to catch any mistakes. So make sure you do a careful reading or two before you submit it. I also highly encourage you to have at least one other person read your resume, as they will inevitably catch something that you missed on that first or final proof. Consider also putting your resume away for a day or two and coming back to it with fresh eyes before you begin applying. Once you're happy with it, you want to save it as a doc or a PDF file so that it's compatible with most employer systems. And we can do that by going to File and then Print so that you can save it as a PDF. And the way you do that is by changing the destination to PDF, save as PDF, which is already done here. And then you also want to name your resume something professional and with your name in it. So this could be Cody Fredrickson resume. And then save it. If you're attending an interview, be sure to print it off and bring 3 to 5 copies for your interviewers so that they can easily reference it during that interview. I also recommend uploading your resume to Indeed at myindeed.com. Right here, upload resume now that you already have one. This will increase your chances of being contacted about a job and enables you to apply for jobs quickly. At Indeed, we're here to help you during your job search, and if there were any questions that weren't answered in this video, please reach out to us on social media at Indeed Support. Thanks for watching.